Hello everyone, good morning. I hope all of you are good and I am also fine. So today I will take one class from mathematics, and this is from the chapter complex number class 11. Okay, and this lecture will help you for the preparation of JEE, TBG, WBJEE, BITSAT, any board exam, that is CBSE, ICSE and state board, and NDA and UPSC. Okay, so first I will explain the formulas of complex number, then I will discuss previous year questions from that topic. Okay, so complex number, what is complex number? So definition of complex number is what? How can we define a complex number? So any number which is in the form of z is equal to a plus b, where a, b are integers or constant, any integers, and I equal to root over minus 1, called complex number. Okay, called complex number. So for example, let me take one example. Z is equal to a plus 2 plus 3i, or we can say z1 is equal to minus 1 plus root 3i. Okay, so these are the two examples of complex number. Now in a complex number there are two terms. Okay, there are two terms are there. Number one terms is, suppose z is equal to a plus ib. Okay, this is the complex number. In this one is known as real part of complex numbers. Okay, and this part which have I as multiplied. Okay, this part is known as imaginary part of complex number. Okay, so now there is one formula is there for purely imaginary number complex number, for purely imaginary complex number, we have the condition is real part of z, that is real part of z will be 0. To become a complex number is completely purely imaginary, that is only I part will be there, then this part, this one is real part, so real part of z must be 0. Okay, that is a must be 0. Okay, next for purely real complex number, whatever the condition is like that, imaginary part for purely real complex number, to get the purely real complex number, this imaginary part, that is i's part will be 0. So EIMPZ is equal to 0. This part is 0. Since I not equal to 0, therefore B must be 0. Okay, so we get here two formulas. If a is 0, then it will become the purely imaginary complex number. If b is 0, then z will become purely real complex number. Okay, so move on the next topic. Now conjugate of a complex number is what? Conjugate of a complex number. Now conjugate of a complex number is what? So let's consider one complex number z is equal to x plus iy. Okay, here I consider x plus iy, or you can consider z is equal to a plus ib, whatever it may be. Okay, you can consider this one. So I consider z is equal to x plus iy. Then in that case, conjugate of z, that is it is denoted by z bar, is equal to x minus iy. So you have to replace I by minus I. You have to replace I by minus I. Okay, replace I by minus I. Okay, this one. So let me give one example here. Suppose Z is equal to 2 plus root 3i. So Z bar, that is conjugate will be what? 2 plus 3 into minus I, that is 2 minus 3i. If I consider another one, Z1 is equal to minus 1 plus root 3i, then in that case minus root 3i, in that case Z1 bar will be what? This sign will not be changed, only I sign will be changed, so it will be remain minus 1, and here is minus root 3 into minus 1 minus I, so it will be minus 1 plus root 3i. Okay, okay. Now how can we find the modulus of a complex number? Let me show. Modulus of a complex number. So modulus, if Z is equal to x plus iy, then we can say modulus of Z, that is mod Z is equal to mod Z is equal to what? Root under of x square plus y square, that is mod Z is equal to root over of x square plus y square. So let me take one example. Z is equal to 2 plus 3 plus 4i, suppose. So therefore mod Z will be what, sir? Root under 3 square plus 4 square, that is root over 25 to 5. Okay, got my point? Okay, now we will discuss arguments is what. Okay, now how can we find conjugate or amplitude of a complex number? Okay, amplitude or argument of a complex number. Okay, amplitude or argument of a complex number. Let if Z is equal to x plus iy, then argument, or you can say amplitude of a complex number is what? That is, it is denoted by ARGZ or AMPZ. ARG means argument Z and AMPZ means amplitude Z is equal to tan inverse, formula is y by x. Okay, so let me take one example here. If I take Z is equal to 1 plus root 3i, okay, so in that case here AMPZ will be what? Tan inverse. Here is y is this one and x is this one, is not it? Here is y is what? Root 3 and x is 1. So now in that case it will be root 3 by 1. So root 3 by 1. Now tan inverse root 3. Tan what value of what angle of tan is root 3? Value of tan root 3. It is tan 60 degree. Okay. So it will be 60 degree or pi by 3. So amplitude of Z will be pi by 3. Okay, fine. Then another formula, that is a polar form of a complex number, or we can say modulus amplitude form. The modulus amplitude form of a complex number is what? Suppose Z is equal to x plus iy. I consider one complex number. Now you have to consider x is equal to r cos theta and y is equal to r sin theta. Now squaring this one, if you squaring this one, you will get x square plus y square is equal to r square into 1. So cos square theta plus sin square theta will be 1. Okay, so r will be root over x square plus y square, and if you divide 2 divided by 1, you will get what? Tan theta, that is r sin theta by r cos theta is equal to y by x. R cancel, so tan theta is equal to y by x, then theta equal to tan inverse y by x. Okay, fine. So modulus amplitude form will be what? Z is equal to r cos theta and I r sin theta. Okay, if you take common, so this is the modulus amplitude form of complex number. Here I represent the modulus and theta represent the amplitude. Okay, here r represent the modulus of the complex number and theta represent the amplitude of the complex number. Okay, modulus of complex number and amplitude of complex number. Got my point? So an argument of a complex number, how can I find? Z is equal to x. I consider one example, a complex number, that is z is equal to x plus iy. Then argument or amplitude of a complex number will be argument z or amplitude z is equal to tan inverse y by x. Then example z is equal to 1 plus root 3i. So y equal to root 3, x equal to 1. So amplitude z is equal to tan inverse root 3, that is tan inverse 60 degree. So 60 degree will be what? Pi by 3. So polar form of complex number will be a modulus amplitude form of complex number. So if I z is equal to x plus iy, then r x equal to r cos theta, equation number 1, y equal to r sin theta, equation number 2. So I squaring this side and adding, from that we find r is what? So here r represent the modulus of the complex number, and if I divide it by 2 divided by 1, we will get theta equal to tan inverse y. So here theta represent the argument or amplitude of the complex number. So what will be the modulus amplitude form or polar form of complex number? It will be z is equal to r cos theta plus I sin theta. Okay, got my point? Okay, so if you graphically draw the complex number here, this will be x, this will be y, and this point will be r theta. Okay, and this angle will be theta and this distance will be r. This one is y and this one is x. Okay, this one is graphical representation of complex number. That is graphical representation of CN, mane complex number. Okay, so now I will do some mathematical questions from the previous section from the topic what I am covered from complex number. Okay, so let's do it. So students, our first question is like that: if x plus iy whole to the power 1 by 3 equal to 2 plus 3i, then 3x plus 2y is equal to what? We have to find out. So here 4 option is given. Which option is correct? We have to find out. Okay, fine. So now I take this one, x plus iy equal to 2 plus 3i. This will be 1 by 3. Now here is 1 by 3. Okay, so since here is 1 by 3, so we have to do here cube both side. Okay, so x plus iy 1 by 3, it will be cube here, and here also 2 plus 3i all to the power cube. Okay, so now this one will be cancelled. So x plus iy is equal to 2 plus 3i whole cube. So x plus iy is equal to 2 cube a cube plus 3 a square b plus 3 a b square plus b cube. Okay, fine. So here will be x plus iy will be 8 plus 3 into 4 into 3i plus 3 into 2 into 9i square, and here is 27i cube. Okay, so look at here, we know that I is equal to what? Root over minus 1. So that therefore I square will be what? Root over minus 1, and I cube will be what? I cube will be I square into I, is not it? So it will be minus 1 into I, that is minus I. Got my point? Okay. So x plus iy is equal to 8 plus 12 into 3 36 I plus 6 into 4 24 into minus 1 plus 27 into I square into I. So x plus iy is equal to 8 plus 36 I minus 24, here is 27 into minus 1 into I. Okay, so x plus iy is equal to 8 plus 36 I minus 24 minus 27 I. Okay, so 8 minus 24 will be what? Minus 16, and here is 36 minus 27 plus 9i. Okay, now this one is also a plus ib form. Here is a plus ib form, is not 8. So comparing both side, what we get? We get x is equal to what? Minus 16 and y is equal to 9. Okay, now in the question they ask, we have to find out the value of what? The value of 3x plus 2y, right? Okay, so therefore 3x plus 2y is equal to 3 into x is what? Minus 16 plus 2 into 9 is equal to minus 48 plus 18. Okay, okay, so I think I am doing here some mistake. This one is not 4, it will be 9. Okay, 9 into 6, here is 54, here is 54, and here is it will be 54, and into 54 minus it will be 54. So 54 minus 8, it will be minus 46. Okay, so x will be 46. Look at here, 3 square, 3 is 9 and I is I square. Okay, so there is a little mistake here I am doing. So if we put here 46 and 9, so it will came how much? 8, 12, that is 13. It will be minus 120. So minus 120 is the answer, correct answer. Okay, minus 120. So let me explain again what I am doing. I just take this part and squaring both, cubing both side. After simplifying, right side is become a plus ib form. That is, if I compare the both side, then x will be minus 46 and y will be 9. So we have to find out the value of 3x plus 2y. That's why I write here and put the values and simplify. After simplification, what comes? Minus 120, and minus 120 is the answer. That is, it's nothing but the option C. Okay, so option C is the correct answer. So move on the next question. So students, our next question is like that. In complex number, the question is like that. This question is came in WBJEE. Okay, this question is came in WBJEE and TBJEE so many times, in 8 also or JEE also. So the smallest positive integer n for which 1 plus I by 1 minus I whole to the power n is equal to 1 is what? Which option is correct? We have to find out. So let us take this option equation they given. 1 plus I by 1 minus I is whole to the power n is equal to 1. Now we have to do LCM here. Okay, rationalization here. So I rationalize this one in the bracket. So 1 minus I, that is 1 plus I, and here it will be 1 plus I into 1 plus I. Got my point? Whole to the power n is equal to 1. So here 1 plus a plus b into a minus b form, it will be 1 square minus I square, and here will be 1 plus I plus I square. Okay, whole to the power n is equal to 1. So 1 plus 2I plus I square is what? Minus 1. Then here I square is minus 1, it will be plus 1. Okay, got my point? Here is I square is what? Minus 1. So minus 1 minus 1, okay, is equal to 1. This one will cancel. So 2i is equal to 1 plus 1 whole to the power n equal to 1. So 2i divided by 2 whole to the power n is equal to 1. 2 to cancel, then I to the power n is equal to 1. Now you check here, put the value n is equal to 1, n is equal to 8. If you put n is equal to 8, so smallest positive integer is what? So for smallest positive integer, n never be 0 or negative, okay, 0 or negative. So put first put n is equal to 1. If I put n is equal to 1 here, then it will be I, is not it? So I not is equal to plus 1, right? If I put n is equal to 2, then it will be I square, and I square will be minus 1. So minus 1 not is equal to plus 1, right? So it will be not true. Then if you put n is equal to 3, it will be I cube. Then I cube is equal to minus 1. Then I cube is equal to I square into I minus 1. So minus 1 I minus 1. The minus I equal to minus 1. This is also not true. So next x n equal to take 4. So if I take 4, it will be I to the power 4 is equal to 1. So I square into I square is equal to 1. So minus 1 into minus 1 is equal to 1. So plus 1 is equal to 1. This is, it's correct. So the smallest positive integer will be n. Therefore the smallest positive integer value of n is what? Is nothing but 4. So which option is correct? Not A, not B, not C, none of this. There is option D is the correct answer. So option D is the correct answer here. So got my point? What I am doing? I am doing nothing here. I am just taking this question and doing a rationalization. After that I checking this. After putting n is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. After putting 4, we get plus 1, left hand side equal to right hand side. Then the smallest positive integer will be 4. N equal to 4. That is option D. There is no option A is 8, option B is 12, and option N is C is 16. And D will be the correct answer since it's not given. So move on the next question. So our next question is like that: if z minus 1 by z plus 1 is purely imaginary, where z not is equal to minus 1, then mod z is what? We have to find out. So here is given purely imaginary. So let z is equal to x plus iy. Okay, I take complex number. Z is a complex number which is denoted by x plus iy. Okay, so now I take this part. So z minus 1 by z plus 1. Okay, so if I put this value here, x plus iy minus 1 by x plus iy plus 1. Now here we have to do rationalization. If I take this part of 1, x plus iy plus iy, and here will be rationalization will be imaginary term. Okay, so x plus iy, x plus 1 minus iy. Here will be x minus 1 plus iy, and here will be x plus 1 minus iy. Okay, now here is a plus b into a minus b forms. It will become x plus 1 whole square minus I square and y square. Now if you multiply this by this, it will be x minus 1, x plus 1, and here it will be iy, x minus 1, and here will be iy, x plus 1, and here will be I square, y square. Okay, so here it will be x square minus 1 minus iyx plus iy plus iyx plus iy plus y square. I square is minus 1. We know that if I put here minus 1, it will be minus minus plus. Okay, now it will be also here x plus 1 whole square plus y square. Okay, now x plus 1 whole square plus y square. Here look at here, we have to take a real part in together and imaginary part in another together. Okay, so x square plus y square minus 1. Here this one will be cancelled, and plus 2iy. Okay, now I separate this part. There is, we have to convert in a plus ib form. Okay, this one is real part and this one is imaginary, so I have to convert it in a plus ib form. So therefore z minus 1 by z plus 1 is equal to what? It will be x square plus y square minus 1 by x plus 1 whole square plus y square plus I 2y by x plus 1 whole square plus y square. Now it is in the form of a plus ib. So I already mentioned in the starting of the video, I already told, so for purely imaginary complex number, for to get purely imaginary complex number, that is real part should be 0. So according to the question, the imaginary parts, purely imaginary, the real part of complex number will be 0. The real part of z will be 0. So look at here, real part of z is which part? This one is real part. Real part means without I. Okay, this one is real part and this one is imaginary part. Okay, this one I write here, this one is real part. Okay, real part of complex number, and this one is imaginary part of complex number. Okay, imaginary part. Now according to the question, this real part will be 0, so it will become x square plus y square minus 1, x plus 1 y square plus y square is equal to 0. So it will be x square plus y square minus 1 equal to 0. So it will be x square plus y square equal to 1. Okay, so now if I square root this one, it will be x square plus y square equal to 1. So this one is nothing but mod z. Since z is equal to x plus I y, that is, therefore mod z is what? Root over x square plus y square, and x square plus y square is what comes? The value of x square plus y square is, mod z will be what? X square plus y square is equal to 1. So which option is correct? Option A is the correct answer. So sir, option A is the correct answer. So if this one is purely imaginary, then mod z will be 1. That is, modulus of the complex number will be 1. Okay, got my point? So our next question, and this is the last question of this lecture. Okay, the last question of the lecture is like that: the modulus and amplitude of 1 plus 2i by 1 minus 1i whole square is, that is, here is given one expression of a complex number, and from this expression we have to find out the modulus and amplitude is what? Okay, so now we have to simplify this complex number first. So here 1 plus 2i, that is 1 minus I whole square. So 1 plus 2i, it will be 1 minus 2i plus I square. So 1 plus 2i, 1 minus 1 plus 2i minus I square. Okay, so 1 plus 2i, 1 will cancel, so 2i minus I square is what? Plus 1. So 1 plus 2i by 1 plus 2i. Okay, 1 plus 2i and 1 plus 2i, and this one is 1. Okay, so if I take this one is a complex number, z is equal to 1, so z is equal to mod z is equal to 1. What? This one is, I can write 1 plus 0 into I, is not it? And it is in the form of a plus ib. Okay, this question is came BITSAT entrance exam. Okay, BITSAT engineering entrance exam. So modulus will be what? 1 square plus 0 square, that is 1. Okay, and argument will be, that is modulus and amplitude. So amplitude of z will be tan inverse 0 by 1, that is tan inverse 0. Okay, so tan inverse 0 is nothing but 0. Tan inverse 0 is 0. So modulus of the expression is 1 and amplitude or argument is what, sir? 0. So which option is matching here? Option B is the correct answer. Option B is matching here. Okay. So got my point? What I am doing here? I am just take this complex number expression, and after simplifying I convert it A plus IB form, and after that I use this formula, modulus formula and amplitude formula, and option B is came here. So this much for today's lecture. I hope you will learn lots of from this video. If there are any problem, if you face any problem in any topics in the formula section or numerical sections, you have to you can ask in comment sections or directly message me in WhatsApp. Okay, I will try to resolve your problems as much as I can. So thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Take care.